everyone. Welcome back to Absolutely. My name is Benny, that is Sal, and that is Hassan. And normally we do these trailer reviews where we watch them ahead of time, then we film our discussion and reactions on it. But this time, we're going to watch it live because it went live when we were already filming. So we're gonna shortcut, watch it together, and stop it periodically. So, since we usually stop it to discuss something, when you guys see something, hold your hand up like we're in school and go, Benny, or just say stop the video, okay?
And before we go, I have a question. Who do you guys think, do you think Black Panther is going to be revealed in this trailer, and who do you think it is?
Okay. I do not, I'm leaning towards M'Baku is coming back. That he's going to be the Black Panther. But I do think we're going to see the female Black Panther as like the primary. I foresee the story being Black Panther's passing, Shuri probably be the female Black Panther taking over, not working out that well. For some reason, she decides to quit and go join the Avengers while M'Baku becomes the Black Panther of Wakanda. That's my theory for the movie.
Theory, man. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sal?
My theory is that she'll be... What'd you say? What'd you say?
I saw the trailer this morning.
Oh, you suck.
Son of a bitch. Well, I think it's Shuri, and think what you want about that.
Well, you're right. It is Shuri.
Yeah, I was right about that.
God damn it.
I just think it's going to wrap up with Shuri going to be the Avengers Black Panther, and we'll have one in Wakanda to leave it as M'Baku.
But we need to have multiple Black Panthers.
I mean, they've done it before, but here we go.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
We're at 43 seconds at this point. It looks like Namor and Atlantis. It's not going to be Atlantis, though, right? They're going to do a Mayan thing, I believe.
It better be Atlantis.
I don't think it's called Atlantis.
What's the
I don't think
point?
it's called Atlantis. I think they're avoiding that because of Aquaman. They're just making sure that there's
Who cares?
You didn't hear about that? They're changing out Namor. He's not going to be. It's a Mayan thing now.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I thought you knew about that. That was all.
That's really dumb.
That they're changing him to be like a Mayan origin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it looks like he's gonna rise as king while they're searching for the new king of Wakanda from what I'm seeing in the trailer so far. But I do want to go back to this. The Namor appearance. Where is it at? There. Mm-hmm. That looks awesome.
Yeah. It looks great.
I have always had a major complaint about Namor, and that is that he has no costume. He's in his whitey tighties, slugging it out with everyone.
He is the costume. Like, he's great. Mm-hmm. You'll see him in
that's fine to an extent, but I like the idea of there being a more stylized costume to go with the Mayan flair they're adding to him.
Yeah.
So underwater Mayan people are attacking a boat. Mm-hmm. So from the looks of things here, it looks like they're starting the war by attacking the people on land. That's what's going to be.
Exactly.
Theory real quick, because obviously it's not going to be revealed in the trailer unless it is, and Sal will tell me in 2 seconds.
Right.
Why do you think that they're suddenly active, the Atlanteans/Mayans?
We don't get any information about that, but I will say, like, we do. Yeah, no. They'll talk about it.
It's coming? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh! He's got the Wingadigs! All right, so at 58 seconds of the trailer, he's got the flying wing things on his ankles!
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Right?
That's pretty dope.
They actually did it. I can't believe they did it and made them functional.
I know. It's great.
Okay.
Basically, she's saying, like, I know why you're doing it. Like, we know what you're whispering. And I think it's her addressing, like, the nation or the world. But, like,
okay.
But it's, like, the theme, I think, of the movie, which is basically, like, her going, like, you think because there's no Black Panther, Wakanda's defenseless.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good idea for a movie. I still think we should have had not Chadwick Boseman, obviously couldn't, but just, we just had like the original Black Panther rolling up forward for quite a bit more.
Right.
That I do think. I think they should have done a recast and just celebrated him in another way. Mm-hmm. But this isn't a good idea to move with. Like
Kevin Feige recently talked about it because he's been asked, and he just said it was too soon to recast him. But it didn't sound like we will never recast T'Challa.
Exactly.
And it's a comic book situation, so we could end up having our T'Challa back at some point and maybe do some stuff in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely is. It's hard because he's such a titular character in the Marvel universe. So to be without him, it doesn't matter how you spin his legacy going forward. He is the legacy. His impact
I mean, he was obviously the guy that was supposed to be stepping up in the place of Tony Stark and Captain America. Yeah. You know, that was going to be the guy, and now he obviously isn't. So we're kind of in a weird void right now. But all right, moving forward with the trailer. But hold on. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Well, we all probably assume that this is Shuri.
Right. There's no. She doesn't. We don't see Shuri put the mask on. We just see the little dots that she has on her.
It's the white dots that she usually wears.
Yeah.
In, war.
But did you see Riri Williams be an Iron Man for a minute?
Yeah, She got the giant suit, which is I think that's how it starts too with her, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm worried now. I mean, not that I'm worried about Ironheart in any way, but Ironheart's getting a show. Marvel seemed to, despite middling reactions to it, Marvel seemed to have a formula, right? Where it's okay, now the origin stories are going to be 6-hour-long movies in the form of TV shows on our app.
Right.
And that was no different with Ironheart, who's getting her own show. With this, it's no. Wakanda Forever has to do the following things: reestablish Wakanda, establish a new Black Panther, introduce a new Iron Man type character, introduce Namor. There's a lot of work going on in this movie. Probably set up the next status quo for the MCU going forward, where the world is going to be, because we had our post Endgame world where everyone's kind of oh, I'm survived the snap, blah blah blah. We're getting back to it. Now it's in a post not Atlantis invasion world.
It does have too much to do. I do think it's. They said it's the biggest Phase 4 movie so far, or Phase 5, whatever. It's the longest one that we've had since Endgame. It makes sense. I'm not super familiar with Ironheart in the comics, so I should not be the resident person speaking on this, but I don't really know why they had to be introduced here in this Wakanda movie. Feels very, very out of place. I'm not a fan. And in general, I think I always struggle with the idea of someone taking on Iron Man's legacy who isn't ingrained in his character. I wish we introduced Riri Williams as someone that Tony Stark knows during his run. But I don't know. I need to see the comics.
In the comic, that didn't happen either. That was the biggest complaint. Yeah. In the comic, the way it was worked out, she just happened to be smart enough to remake an Iron Man suit, which then got his attention. And then he, I think, dropped money on her and left. And she was on her own because she didn't need any help. And that was the biggest complaints originally, because they were positioning her to take over as Iron Man. Originally, she was just Iron Man for a period, made an Iron Man suit.
Yep.
And that was where a lot of the backlash came from, that because she wasn't ingrained with him. She wasn't tied into it in any way, shape, or form. Tony Stark didn't get involved, and Tony Stark has a cast of female characters that could have been a female Iron Man primary character. That was the biggest backlash.
It's just give them their own origin and tie it to Tony Stark as minimally as possible. At most, I say hey, this is no, I liked his suit design better than the Wakandan ones or something like that. Right. Throw something in there. I always struggle with the idea of let's make legacy characters that don't really tie into the original.
Yeah.
It just feels very, very out of touch at times, but also this woman could bring on the performance of a lifetime, and she could become everybody's favorite MCU character in a heartbeat, So
right, we don't know anything about her overall. I do want to, before we close out on this video, because we just watched the trailer, and it does show quite a bit, but it's a lot of stuff that we can't really theorize on. It shows Ironheart, it shows the female Black Panther, which we're all assuming is going to be Shuri. Right. It doesn't really show any other options other than Shuri. I mean, because I really doubt it's going to be Okoye or anybody like that. So you could throw that theory out there if you want to. The trailer does a good job of setting up what the movie's about without revealing or leaving too much room for speculation, which I enjoy that about the trailer.
Yeah.
My big question for you guys is, though, Namor is going to be a prime example of should he have been introduced into the MCU in this manner. Because they've completely reinvented this Namor to be of Mayan descent and have a Mayan, I believe it's Mayan or Aztec. It is one of those ancient cultures, just to clarify. Why does it have to be Namor? Yeah. If you didn't want to use Atlantis, which is Namor's old thing, do you feel that they could have done something other than use the name? Because they're just using Namor in name only and Wingedings only.
They wanted to use Namor. They wanted to use Namor. They introduced Namor.
Aztec. Chad's telling me it is Aztec, not Mayan. My bad.
Yeah. Which, it could be really, really bad and really egregious, or it could lend itself to a really beautiful, well-written story. And it could be Namor and everything in heart. He could characterize that character perfectly and just have a different origin that doesn't necessarily affect the background as much.
But why call him Namor is my point. Why not just make a new character?
Because it is Namor. Because they're going to be.
If it is Namor,
that's why they're introducing him in the first place. He's in the movie because he's Namor, not because they want to talk about ancient Aztec culture.
Okay.
Right.
And so your theory is that they're going to use Namor in the role of Namor. They just wanted to give him a different origin.
They just had to change. Well, they had to change the location for some reason, which is stupid, but whatever.
Kamala Khan is Miss Marvel in every way that counts as far as her personality is concerned. But like, look at the power set and stuff she has now. It's not necessarily Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel, but she is Miss Marvel. So I'm assuming they might do something like that with Namor. Hopefully less egregious than that one, because I was not a big fan of that workaround. I think it'll work fine. We haven't seen enough to post any judgment on Namor, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the biggest thing I wanted to talk about, because that's been the biggest question of why the people have put out on Twitterverse and stuff like that. Why has Namor been changed? He was Atlantean, now he's Aztecian.
I don't know if that's what you call Aztec people. It sounds like they did it just for stupid, arbitrary reasons, and that's really stupid.
The only thing that I have read on it, and I don't know where this even came from, but it was supposedly from an interview, and I don't know where it came from, but was that they didn't want to use Atlantis because they didn't want to tie into Aquaman, and they decided that the Aztecs have a rich history that has never really been explored in cinema.
Yeah.
So that was they didn't want to use Atlantis, so they had to pick somewhere to send him that would make sense. So they picked Aztec for that reason.
It's so such a weird idea. Where they're like, oh, we can't use Atlantis. And it's like, first of all, you can, because you can. No one's going to argue with you. And secondly, if you're not going to, then you can't use him. It would be like if they were like, we need to put Spider-Man in this movie, but we also can't in any way have him use his powers, wear his costume, or set in New York. It's like, well, then you're not using him. Right. It's like, wait, whoa, no, we do want to use it. We just don't want to get him confused with anybody else.
Yeah, he walked on us. He said, "Hey, I'm Peter."
Yep.
And then
and then he left.
Spider-Man.
There's no. I mean, and by the way, he's Namor in every respect.
I love the extra armor they added to him, the Aztec armor. I love that armor. I love that aesthetic. I love that old.
It's fine.
I've always liked that kind of thing, the South American kind of Aztec.
Yeah, Mayan. It looks cool.
Yeah. I've always found that stuff interesting.
Yeah.
I know they did the same thing with Aquaman years ago, where they used Jason Momoa's Samoan tattoos to be part of the suit for Aquaman. Like they designed it around those designs and stuff like that. They added a little bit of history to it. Mm-hmm. They could just be doing something like that. I think it's going to be something that, Sal, I got to imagine you're going to like it a lot more than you feel about it now. Eventually.
I'm not even I have no problem with it whatsoever. I like the aesthetic and the approach and the design, and everything like that. It's just for me, it's like, why? Why change the name? Just because you're worried about it? Like somebody in the comments was like, why does it really matter? And I'm like, yeah, does it really matter?
No, it doesn't matter. And the fact is, I doubt there's a lot of super Namor fans out there that are going to be really offended by this.
No, but it's like you invented Wakanda. It's a fake place. You could invent Atlantis. It's a fake place.
Right.
Why make it real? Why avoid it just because you don't want to be compared to Aquaman? Hey, that boat has sailed. It's Namor. He's Marvel's Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. But all right. Anyway, we'll talk more about it as we get closer to the movie. But at the end, does this trailer make you excited for Black Panther 2? Because I won't lie. Up until that trailer, I've been in a very mood of I'm going to watch it, and I hope it's good. I haven't been excited for it. That got me excited.
I think all the trailers for this movie have been phenomenal. It's a good
the trailers have been phenomenal. I'm talking about how much excitement to go see it did they give me. Because before this, a lot of the trailers were just Wakanda lost T'Challa. What do we do now?
Yeah.
That was what it was. And now this trailer's Wakanda lost T'Challa. Also, Namor's attacking with Atlantis. We're gonna see Ironheart. We're gonna see Black Panther. We're also gonna do this. We're also gonna. I mean, that's what this trailer did compared to the last batch of trailers.
Right. Oh no, this actually gives you the story. It's Atlantis attacks. Atuma's in it.
I'm not any more excited to see it. If I'm being honest, I'm just gonna look forward to the music that comes afterwards. This movie is the scariest movie that they will ever release, in my opinion, and I feel like I'm terrified it might break the universe if it is even an ounce disrespectful or not perfect, because it has the biggest shoes that has ever been needed to be filled ever. Yeah. So. And it's not helpful that they already had on-set controversies and stuff throughout the filming process of it, which is about the titular person who might put on the helmet. So that ends up being this honorable man was Black Panther. Now you're putting this lady in it who maybe is less so liked by the public and not crazy. There's definitely some fear on my end that I'm looking forward to the music that comes out with it. That's going to be fun. And I'm definitely going to see it in theater.
Was great for the first one. I like that.
Oh my God, it's one of the cool. We gonna be all right out of nowhere from.
Yeah.
That is one of the coolest transitions ever. So
Yeah.
But all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed our review or the live watch of the trailer. If you prefer us doing it this way as opposed to our other way, let us know in the comments down below. This was more of just a convenience thing because it literally dropped while we were live. So that's what we were told. But apparently Sal watched it this morning. So
No, it came out this morning, but I maybe it was in different places. I think it was just like we were live and we didn't know. And
yeah. Anyway, thank you guys. We'll see you next time right here at Absolutely Marvel and DC.